Hey everyone, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Although I am a licensed clinician, I'm also just a person. I love to be able to be in my real life and speak from that point. And that's where this podcast is coming from. So enjoy.
Searching for truth, looking for answers. There must be a way to another day.
Hey guys, it's Aaliyah here.
Hey, it's Joe.
I specifically I specifically always tell you that you have to bump it up on your intro, and you just never bump it up.
Cause I'm like I get warmed up as we go. You know, it takes me a minute.
Okay.
Let's try that again.
All right. Hey guys, it's Aaliyah here again.
And Joe. Hope everybody's happy and whatever. Say.
Oh God, you're just like, jeez, my goodness.
Listen, I'm not feeling well.
Right. That's right. You're not feeling well.
So, give me a break today.
That's right. I'm not feeling well either.
I know.
just so that you guys know, right before we got into this podcast, my father, aka Milton, called to see how Joe is doing because Joe has not been feeling well. But we'll get into that. And he called to see how Joe was doing, and they had this whole thing, and how's Joe, and blah, blah, blah.
Well, it was all because you hadn't called him back and told him how I was doing. So he was concerned.
So he texted me last night to ask me how Joe was doing. I was asleep. So then this morning I saw the text, and I just, get sidetracked, got the baby, I got to take care of all this stuff. But I called him. He never answered. Then he called just now, and he was like, why didn't you call me back? Someone texts you about your husband, and you can't call back. And I was like, I did, right? So the whole time he's so concerned about Joe, so concerned. They're talking, so concerned, talking. Now, please understand something. His daughter just got diagnosed with not only rheumatoid arthritis, but fucking lupus the other day, okay? Which we'll also get into. And then I step in. Hey, Dad, my jaw is hurting a bit because the arthritis in my jaw, and now it's gone to my ear, and now it's gone to my neck, and now I can't really eat or chew, and the pain is really bad. So anyway, that baby is so funny. The baby, did you see the video with the baby moving her shoulder? Oh man, that baby is too much.
What does this say? Maybe this says you're complaining.
This happens
too much.
all the time. All I would like is first some acknowledgement.
You guys have talked about your lupus.
Yeah. But he totally disregarded everything I said.
Because that's an ongoing thing. My thing is it's just happened.
Well, tell them what's been going on with you. Tell everybody, because it's been crazy.
Well, we still don't even know.
We don't. But I want you to start so that everyone really understands with the passing out on the toilet.
Jesus.
Because I feel like that leads us up to this moment.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the same type of shit, yeah. So, before our daughter was born, I was getting really stressed out, and there was a lot going on. And
lots of stress, yeah.
One night in the middle of the night, I had to go to the bathroom, and I ended up passing out on the toilet from, severe abdominal pain. And then Aaliyah came down and found me or whatever.
On the floor, half on the toilet, half on the
floor. Come on, did we have to make this that?
Yeah, the people need to understand how severe this was.
So, that was a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I went to the functional medicine doctor, ran a bunch of tests, the stool test, the blood work, anything you could think of. And came up, everything was pretty good, except for my B vitamins were down a little bit. So I started taking some probiotics and some B. And the main thing was stress. Stress is causing all of this stuff, including what's going on right now. That's what I think. So then, fast forward now, probably over the past, it's probably been going on.
It's been a week and change now.
It's
been a week and change.
I mean, this was going on when I was out of town too.
But not
as bad.
Not to this capacity. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But it's been like on and off where like one day I'll feel okay. Like today I feel okay. But yesterday I was literally out for the count. Like I could not move. I was like in pain all around my stomach. My back was hurting. It felt like somebody had punched me all night long in the stomach. And then
wait, but you also have to get into the fact that you didn't, at some point prior to this, you didn't go to the bathroom for like 7 days.
Oh yeah. Forget about that.
Right, that's pretty big.
That...
He didn't take a shit for 7 days.
So then I got on like this cleanse, this intestinal cleanse, and I started popping a couple of those a day, and that worked because like one night about like 3 or 4 days ago, I had to go to the bathroom and I blasted out everything. So now, after that, I'm thinking, all right, I got it all out. I felt good the next day. I'm thinking I'm on the road to recovery, right? And then, then the next day, I'm just like not feeling good again, and just like low energy, like I can't even like move.
Couldn't move.
So I don't really know what. Oh, and then yesterday, when it was like probably the worst, we go to the urgent care, and basically they're like, thanks for your $150. We can't really do anything here. Literally, can't do anything.
Nothing.
Can't do x-rays, can't do
nothing.
Any kind of scans, can't do any kind of blood work tests, can't do anything. We don't do any of that here.
None,
we just take your money.
And that is what they
waste
did.
Your time. Take your money and waste your time. So then we just took matters in our own hands. Should have done that in the first place. Got some Pedialyte and some more Miralax, which I've never had before. So I took that at like 4 o'clock yesterday, and then
I told you just to rest, and I canceled all my patients.
I was like just went to bed and like was like sweating and not sweating and freezing and whatever. Also, all along with this, I don't have a temperature except for like for an hour while I was like at the doctor's office, right? Like, I mean,
well, it started happening before we got to it was in the car. That's when I felt you and you were like burning hot. But prior to that, you didn't have a fever.
Yeah. So not COVID.
Well, honestly, technically, I really don't know.
We don't know, but the doctors didn't want to take a test or anything. I mean, it would have been more than
no one suggested to do anything, which is interesting to me. But I mean, my mom is fine, and Carlos is fine, and they were around you like 5 days ago. And
you're fine.
I'm fine, and the baby's fine.
I've been here. I literally have
for
not
more
left
than
the house for a week.
So I mean, for all of us to be asymptomatic, I find a little bit odd, but
yeah. Anyways, stress. This is the lesson of this episode, you know. Got to manage your stress somehow. You know, I try to meditate.
I bought you a meditation necklace. Where is it?
You know,
using that.
I stopped wearing it for a minute because, remember, oh yeah, another thing, like about a month ago, I all of a sudden randomly just got eczema. That's been another thing. I'm like, what the hell is this? I just wake up one day.
Actually, to be exact, you have nummular eczema, which is a real stubborn pain in the ass eczema, if anybody knows about nummular eczema.
Well, I've gotten it to really get gone. Probably. I mean, it's pretty much gone. Now I'm just like kind of scarred on my arm.
Scars, yeah. Some good old-fashioned CBD THC mix.
Yep, with the TRS. It's a metal detox.
With some steroid. I think you did have some
Yeah,
like,
we did the
steroid
steroid, but that didn't really do anything. I did that for a while. So anyway, what was I bringing that up? Oh yeah.
Stress.
And then stress. Like stress really causes physical ailments within your body. It comes out in different ways and different people. For me, it happens to be like my intestines get tightened up. I can even feel it if I'm in a stressful moment. Like if I actually step outside of that moment and examine my body, I look into my stomach and I can feel that it's tense and I can release it. But if I'm not aware of that moment, it's just tense the whole time, And if I keep going without being aware of it, that causes issues within my stomach, like constipation, apparently.
Well, stress is a real motherfucker. I mean, like, whenever I see anyone and they have stress, like I'm always like, and it's anxiety, I'm like, look, I mean, we need some serious management stuff here because anxiety comes out sideways so hard. Like I'll never forget this one situation where this is like 10 years ago. This mom, actually, she wasn't even like seeing me, but she was a mom who I just like spoke to, and her son was in treatment, and he was out there doing drugs, doing his thing. And the mom was like so heavily codependent. And for people who know anything about codependency people who are codependent will have like really high levels of like anxiety and control issues and stuff like that. So, and they like they're like super enablers. But the mom had so much anxiety, so it ended up with her having to have like a triple heart bypass. She never had heart issues prior to like anything going on. It started off with anxiety. The anxiety grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. She started having like blood pressure issues, the whole nine, heart issues, triple bypass.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and why medicine, why like current medical doctors and whatever don't bring these two worlds together is beyond me. I don't understand. They're just like, oh, well, you have a heart issue. They would just be like, she has a heart issue. You have a stomach issue. But they don't give a fuck about where it comes from.
Yeah. Some of them do, though, because I will say the new rheumatologist who I'm seeing, actually, she's a PA working under this doctor. But I will tell you, like, when I was speaking to her and we were talking and she asked me if I have, like, anxiety, anything like that. And I was like, I do have anxiety. And she said, but like before I left, she was like, look, it's going to be okay. I know this is really annoying, but try not to stress out because stress is something that can induce a lot of this inflammation. So you have to really, I actually thought that was really good. Although I knew that already, like it was cool because I haven't heard any doctor actually say that. So it was pretty cool. She's PA, but whatever.
Yeah. Do you think that it seems like it's like specific diseases where a doctor will go down that path, like the diseases where they don't have a cure for it? So if you start bringing it up that, hey, I know there's no cure for this, but I heard you can do this natural path, then they kind of like have to start talking about that shit because there's nothing else to talk about except for, well, this is your life from now on.
Well, I think it's just a matter of training in terms of how they're trained also. Like, I don't think that, I don't know how the training is now with all these new, like, holistic stuff out there, if they even mention it in school or whatever when they're getting their, like, degree and doing all their, internships or whatever, and their residencies. But
they would never say, like, that with heart disease or cancer because there's treatments for that, right? So they're not going to go down the path of like, well, you have heart disease possibly because of X, Y, and Z, and what's your history like, and what's your stress level like.
But some of these things, they don't even know why. Like, for example, lupus, like when I read up on it, there's no actual real answer as to where lupus, actually, this is what they say. They say that genetic biology plays a piece, right? In terms of anyone in your family who has it. I have no one in my family who has colitis or freaking lupus or freaking rheumatoid arthritis, okay, that I know of. But my mom, I guess on her side, it's like a second cousin, like of hers or whatever, just so happens to have lupus. So I'm like, I mean, if that's how far it goes, then I guess. But if you have a family history in any way of lupus, then what they say is there are environmental factors that can trigger the onset of the lupus. So like it was already in your body, let's say, I guess a part of your genetic makeup, right? Yeah. And there's something in the environment that you come across that triggers the lupus to become active.
Yes. It's what is the wording for this? But it's with it embedded in your DNA, right? So this is what I get concerned about with like vaccines or with genetically modified foods that we eat and stuff. Like it may seem like you're fine now, or it may seem like our daughter is okay, right? Until something environmentally down the road triggers the expression in that DNA to express itself, and boom, then something happens, right? But that only happens with manipulation of your DNA via genetically modified shit, vaccines. I mean, who knows? This could be because you got a vaccine when you were 1 year old.
Okay, and again, we're never going to, how many times do I have to say that no one is ever going to find out if a vaccine actually caused something now in your 40s when you had it when you were fucking 5? Because in order to do that, they would have to take someone's body, keep them in a bubble, keep them away from all other triggers and all things in life that they can come across that can actually give them something, okay?
She's talking, hold on. You're talking about what? You're talking about doing a legitimate...
A long-term from the time that somebody actually had the vaccine when they were a baby, all the way up until they die.
To see... it's what do you call that? That's not a test, but like a...
It's a long-term study.
Long-term study to see if a vaccine can affect somebody.
There's too many components out there. There's too many variables out there in the world that, like this whole autism thing... Do you know how many things actually can cause autism?
I'm just saying. I'm saying it could be.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, maybe everything that doctors don't know where it came from are from vaccinations or genetically modified things that we're eating that are manipulating our DNA. I don't know. Just like you said, there's no way to figure that out because of all the variabilities in life. But could.
I mean, I could die in a plane crash. I mean.
Yeah, but like if you're looking for like the reasons why, say you have lupus, right? That's up there on the list.
Well, I told you that it's unknown.
What else is there?
Except for the stuff that I just said.
Yeah, but I mean, so that or past family history, right? But that's all you got.
That's it. And then whatever the hell triggered it.
But a vaccine is high on that list. It's not like some random shit. It's like that's a possibility. It's one of the 2 or 3 possibilities of why you have it. Right? What are 2 or 3 other possibilities?
I mean, so if I got a vaccine when I was 4, right? A bunch of vaccines when I was 4, and let's say now I'm the age that I am, and now I have, I don't know, something going on with me. I mean, right, one of the factors would be biology. That's huge. Genetic. Mm-hmm. Environmental, right? That's another. Yeah, I guess after that.
Right.
I guess a vaccine, yeah.
Well, we're kind of going deep on that one.
You always do these like weird like moments where you're like,
because I'm like,
hey, so what do we talk about now?
Yeah,
I'm
I don't want to talk
just
about it.
Just flow with it. Just flow.
Right.
Let it flow.
I'm not feeling well.
Neither am I. So no one's acknowledging, no one at all is acknowledging the excruciating joint pain that I'm in my jaw.
I'm starting to sweat because of this light.
In my jaw. I can't even fucking chew. Like, my ear's killing me. But I had something wrong with my abdominal stomach pain stuff.
Yeah,
and
I probably have to poop after
go to the
this.
urgent care and pooey for me. Meanwhile, Superwoman here is holding down the fort with arthritis and lupus.
Hold on. It's both?
What are you talking about? I was diagnosed with both. It's actually, this is going to be really funny, but I'm not joking when I actually say this out loud because there's a name for it. But I think the name is actually hysterical. I actually have been diagnosed with what they call
Rupus?
Rupus.
It's a crossover.
You
just got it all.
Overlap. Rupus is what they call it.
They couldn't think of a name of the combination.
So they were like, Rupus. That's what it is. That's what I got.
Well, I feel like, overall, though, you're doing pretty well with it so far. What are you doing to manage this so far, since they're not giving you anything? Because you're taking
right. So I
tests.
haven't started my treatment yet, basically because they're sending me for like X-ray. Blood work after blood work after blood work after blood work after blood work, X-ray, and it's like until they really get everything down to the then they're. And actually, I would be starting treatment if I was still with the original rheumatologist, but because my insurance, I had to change. And so because I went to a new rheumatologist, they want to run one more test. But I was diagnosed by my original rheumatologist. So
wow, thank God for insurance. Man, they really make things easy in the health industry.
yeah, no, they really don't. It's actually a pain in the ass. So I've been doing nothing to manage the pain.
It's really important for insurance.
Okay, so what are you gonna do with your abdominal issues when you go to the doctor? You're gonna pay out of pocket?
I'm just saying how everybody, not a lot of people maybe understand or care, or maybe they just don't know that you're in a situation where you need to see a doctor or whatever, but then all of a sudden doctors and facilities can just be like, well, we're not accepting that insurance anymore. And because of that, first off, you should just not ever care about going there ever again anyways, because all they care about is money, clearly. Right?
First of all, that's a huge practice, okay? But that would be so would I stop seeing a patient because their insurance stopped paying? I wouldn't abruptly stop seeing the patient.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if I would work something out, with them to see if they can pay, right.
That's not, but it's not
I
your
have
personal
a sliding scale fee, but that's just because I feel bad, just completely being like, all right, bye. We did all this work together, but see you now.
But that's
I'm not going to do that.
So it's not your personal, you're not doing it, just like the doctor is not doing it, but the insurance companies. How are they dictating all this
Insurance
shit?
companies suck. I mean, that's that's already clear to me.
So why did this company just stop taking your insurance all of a sudden? Why is that?
Okay, so because I work with meaning I do my billing and file my claims and all that stuff with insurance companies. I understood this because my particular health insurance, and I think I've told you this, my particular health insurance changed companies to basically work on all their contracts. So that started January 1st. So if you're a provider, let's say I'm a provider, right? And I'm a provider with Magellan and Avmed. Avmed's my health insurance. Avmed dropped Magellan come January and took on a whole new company called Optum to take on all their contracts. So if I'm not paneled with Optum as a provider, that means that now I'm out of network, which means that either the patient has to have out of network benefits or they have to self-pay.
See, this is what I'm saying. What the insurance
so where
companies make it so complicated.
Where Avmed fucked up was that they never sent any, and many colleagues of mine have said the same thing. They never sent a letter to any of the providers saying, "Hey guys, because this is happening, if you are not paneled with Optum, make sure that you did like none of that, right? So everyone's just kind of like I knew that they were changing, but I didn't know that this whole thing happened.
But
so I think that's what happened with the hospital.
Know anything about this?
No, they know nothing. No. So I think that's what happened with the rheumatologist. I think what happened was
this is what I'm trying to describe here is the detach between the doctor and the patient. And there's this fucking middleman called the insurance companies that do all this fucked up shit that don't allow.
I don't think it's the detach between the doctor and the patient. I think it's a detach between the health insurance company and the doctors, and therefore because of that, then the patients also.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. The insurance company is in the middle of where they shouldn't be.
Like it's I don't think they're in the middle. I think they're the first. Like they're the first and primary, and they should be actually speaking to the providers, saying, "Hey, look, this is happening." Da 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 da.
Well, I guess so. If you're going to have insurance companies, then they should be doing it right.
But that's not happening.
But because they don't give a shit.
So because of that, the patient ends up getting fucked. Okay? Because the insurance company didn't freaking... So now I got to drive to freaking West Bumblefuck just to see this damn rheumatologist and start get more blood work done. Meanwhile, I'm in pain, and now I have ear pain and neck pain because I have arthritis in my fucking jaw.
Sorry, we went off on a rampage on that one, but... All right, so keep going with so what's going on? What are you doing in the meantime until you finally get to see this other doctor or whatever? Or
no, I saw the other doctor.
Get to see.
I have to get more blood work and then X-ray.
The process, yeah.
I mean, for my pain, nothing. There's nothing for pain right now. I'm in excruciating pain. Tylenol, which is like for a fucking baby.
Well, you're taking the CBD.
It's not helping for pain. That's for sure.
But who knows? It might be. It could be helping with like some other stuff that you would be in pain with that you're not. Maybe this is like the most painful, so it's not working for that. But I mean, you said your hands are okay, your feet are fine.
No, right now I'm in a flare up, so my fingers are actually really stiff and they hurt. But after I had that incident where I took too much, my feet and my hands were like amazing.
Maybe you need to take too much again.
I can't. That was awful. It was awful. But yeah, so basically Joe and I we're like a
Soul's the healthiest one.
Soul is the healthiest one. Thank goodness.
Euro's always sick.
Always
I'm not sick though. I'm not always sick.
Always sick. There's clearly something abdominally going on with you.
But I'm never like sick.
You're never sick, but there's something going on with you internally in your intestines. And
Stress.
You need to figure it out.
Stress.
Okay.
Well, we need to go on more vacations, I guess, or something. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, on another note, I did actually want to bring up, so my mom's, I guess I'll just call him her husband because they've been together like for a while, but my mom's husband, Carlos, right, came over the other day and he had mentioned this whole, because we started talking about, there's a new show that came out called The Little Things that is, I mean a movie, sorry, that's on HBO Max. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's with Denzel Washington and Jared Leto.
You don't have to check it out. It's just like,
man, what the hell's that other guy's name?
It's whatever.
Anyway, I really liked it. Joe thinks it's whatever. So anyway, Carlos came over, we were talking about it, and we were talking about how Jared Leto played like an amazing just like role. And I'm not going to give it away, so I'm not going to say anything about like really what was happening. But I was like, I mean, I was talking about sociopaths. And in the midst of this conversation, Carlos then brings up to me that this like man who I guess was already in prison or jail or something like that, like confessed to like over 90 killings and then gave very detailed descriptions of what happened, where the bodies are, everything like that. And through the FBI's, having to like, follow up on everything that he said, they confirmed like 30 so far of like the 90 being true. And that blows me it's like no matter like like, I'm in this field of just like clinical stuff, and I got to tell you, it's still just how serial killers work and just the mind of a sociopath and psychopath still blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. Like, so isn't it wild just to think like that means, man, that like, because like we don't hear about serial killers anymore. They're not like, no one's talking about it on the news like they were in like back in like the 80s and 90s, you know, like 70s. Like they were all over the place. Like everybody was talking about them. And then suddenly the news just stopped reporting on serial killers. And it's not because we don't have any. Okay. It's because for some reason they just don't think that it's news to report. I have no idea. Or maybe they're not getting caught.
I could explain to you. You want to explain?
All right, it's some theory. Go ahead.
No, I mean, it makes sense. It's whatever they want the boogeyman to be at that time.
Oh, right. Yeah, I already knew that. Yeah.
Like it has to be this constant fear. In the 80s, it was fucking serial killers, you know.
But it's like, I mean, I got to tell you, I guess maybe they figured out that to society as a whole, the government is scarier than a serial killer.
Well, everybody's always known that, but now it's like, now they're blatantly just telling people what to do and shutting people off like the internet and doing whatever the fuck they want. So
I mean, I guess so, but I got to tell you, a serial killer, I mean, that's like, whoa, wild stuff. So anyway, so now here we are, we're like living in this world, right, where there are serial killers out there, sociopaths, psychopaths, right, and they're doing their thing, living their life. And no one's hearing about it, guys.
Nobody's talking about it.
No one's talking about it. This guy just confessed to over 90 fucking murders, and they confirmed 30 of them.
It's kind of like the flu. Nobody's talking about the flu either, you know? That probably killed 70,000 people last year. Nobody gives a shit. But if it was corona, what I'm trying to say is that you only know what you know. So if they're not telling you that a serial killer killed 90 people, then 90 people are still alive somewhere in your mind, right?
I'm actually so surprised that was even like on a news type of, and it wasn't on like a CNN or anything like that, because at this point it's like, you know, serial killers are just like not even worth talking about, I guess, from the news point of view in terms of big news. But it was on like, I don't know, some other like news thing that I like Googled and found. But I mean, just like unbelievable to me.
Let's talk about this. Why can't people just be honest about like what they really care about? Most people.
Where's this from? Where are you going?
Well, let me get through this. Most people, if you really think about it, and you're thinking about yourself, and you're thinking about you only give a shit about yourself and your family and like close friends. If there was like literally a war going on and all those people were perfectly safe and never going to get hurt, you just continue on with your life and everything would be fine. And there would be people dying, but as long as the news doesn't tell you, then they're not dying, right? So like, but if the news tells you 100 people just died in Yemen, then all of a sudden you have to have this conscience and like care about 100 people in Yemen. Not that I don't care about everybody in the world and I want everybody to be like safe and healthy and whatever, but I don't have the capacity to do anything about the majority of the people in this world, right? I have the capacity to take care of myself, my family, maybe some extended friends and stuff like that. And even them, I can't really like protect them. I can only like talk to them and hope they do the right things in life and whatever, you know. But beyond that, unless you're like, you know, Martin Luther King who's out there like speaking your truth and a lot of people believe in it and they're kind of following you, that you have no, like, there's no purpose in like being this like internet warrior for like people you've never met before. And I'm coming off as a very like I don't give a shit about anybody. When in fact, I actually care the most, probably. Does that make sense or not?
It makes sense to me because I know you.
Right. So how do we further get into the details of this so that people that are listening can understand?
I think
what
it's
I'm
like
saying?
this. Like an example I would give to that is out here in Florida we had this tragedy happen in my gosh, why am I blanking out? It was at a school. It was a tragic school shooting in this neighborhood at this high school. And it actually was on Valentine's Day, so the anniversary is coming up soon. I think it's been 3 years, I think. Anyway, that day that it happened, I was at work, was at the office, and I remember hearing about it, reading about it, and I actually had some people who I worked with who actually also had tragedies happen there of people who they knew. So I've heard a lot about it, and I felt so sad for these families who lost their children. You know, it's like you say bye to your child and you're like, okay, bye. Like, I'll see you, like, see you later, blah, 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 love you. And then they don't come back home from school.
Yeah, you could totally relate.
Like,
for sure.
Are you kidding? Like, I mean, I was completely like devastated on the inside when I read it, when I heard about it, when I hear stories about it. I'm like, oh my God, like, I can't even imagine, like, and that's as far, like, I can empathize.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I have empathy for every single one of those families, every single one of those kids, mothers, husbands, brothers, sisters, everyone. I have a tremendous amount of empathy. At the end of the day, it's not something that I'm like taking home with me to a point where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what you mean by like internet warrior or whatever you said, but like
I don't know, something like, yeah, you're not getting on the internet and like posting, oh my God, I can't believe this, and like for days, and like, and making sure everybody knows that like you care about these fucking, like.
Well, I just don't feel like I need to do that,
No,
because
you
that's
do
just
it
because
internally yourself,
I already
right.
know how I feel about it, and I've spoken about it with you or whoever in my life, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm processing it.
This is what I'm talking about. I feel like there's this new like need for everybody to make sure that they, like, COVID is the perfect example, right? Like everybody has to like seem as though like they are saving lives, right, by standing 6 feet away from each other, but like not really. I mean, are you? It seems ridiculous that the benches turned over in the park and the fucking locking up the swing sets and shit. Like,
Stoneman Douglas. Sorry, I had to look it up because I cannot not
what are we talking about?
give the example that I was saying. I couldn't not give that.
God,
like
that was
actual,
like an hour ago.
I know, but I had to make sure that, because like I don't want to forget that, because that was actually really, really horrific. At Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in
that was.
Parkland,
I thought you were
Florida.
talking about the guy.
No. On February 4th. So that was 2018. So yeah, it's what, 18, 19, 20, 20. So 3 years. The anniversary's coming.
Yeah, for sure. And even that is more probably logical for you to communicate with your community about, because it's like it happened here. Like if this happened in like Canada or something, in some small neighborhood up there, yes, you can be empathetic about it happening, but the reality is, like, really in your regular life, it doesn't affect it. Correct? But to say that out loud is like you hate everybody. You're a horrible person, and I don't give a shit. I say it out loud.
Well, it doesn't affect it because logically,
the reality
on a logical level, is that I'm continuing to live my life as best as I can,
right,
and I guess protect my family as best as I can, and like, can't do that all the time. And I just surrendered to the fact that I have no control of situations, unfortunately, and I try really hard to not allow anxiety to overcome in those moments. And I continue to go, okay, thank goodness, I'm grateful and I am blessed and I'm humbled by the fact that I have a loving family. My daughter's healthy, my husband's okay, I'm okay, my parents are okay, but
I feel like it's an attempt of like media to steal my control and my power it's like this. It's a fake thing. It's not real, and I realize that I do have control of my life, and I am I can make decisions, and not those things don't weigh on me. That's not in the back of my mind. I just think about you. I think about my daughter. I think about my family and stuff, and that's it. Literally anything else in the world can be happening, and 100,000 people could die today somewhere, which possibly did happen. But I'm moving on, and I'm not allowing that to weigh on me.
But
and
that's
I don't think
that's the healthy thing to do. I
don't think.
What happens.
Hold on, I just want to say, I don't think a lot of people even realize that this is weighing on them subconsciously. All these things, because think about how many things you go on Instagram right now. There's all kinds of horrible fucking things happening or whatever, and people want to make sure that they are telling people that they are aware of this horrible thing that happened to these people or whatever. I don't understand this whole game that people are playing, but it's weighing on you. You're hurting yourself and the people around you by even having these thoughts go through your mind, I think, on a regular basis, because you have no control over them. Anyways, I don't know. We can keep going on this if you want, but I just had to get that off my chest. And I probably still am coming off to everybody as an asshole that doesn't care about anybody, which is, I think, that's exact opposite.
Well, I don't think you should generalize.
I feel I don't know. That's what I get when I put this information out. When I've talked to other people about this, that's what I get back.
Oh, that's why people think that you're a narcissist?
Maybe.
And a martyr?
It could be. It could be.
That's why people think that. Okay.
Does that make sense?
I don't
think it makes sense.
No, I can, as I use empathy and I try and put myself in somebody else's situation, listening from their ears, I can see how maybe other people could hear what you say and focus and think that you care about yourself solely because if I put myself in their shoes, see, I'm actually listening and hearing everything that you're saying.
Right. You're not picking and choosing what you want to hear.
Meaning, if you said something that triggered me for a second and I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of fucked up, I didn't stop there. I'm still listening.
Right.
Okay? Whereas I think that some people, when they're in conversations with others, if another person says something that maybe wasn't communicated in the best way properly or whatever, they get stuck on that. And then it's hard for them to continue to really hear and listen what the people say moving forward in the conversation.
The funny thing is, I've tried all methods because I've been going through this for years, right? Mm-hmm. I've tried the ones where I explain overly how empathetic I am about the situation and making it very clear that I care about each individual that I'm talking about. And then I'll state how I actually feel in my life. And then that's what they stick with.
But I think that,
even if I said it prior to.
I think that you just have to stop doing that. You know why?
What?
My dad actually gave me a really good example. Well, okay, so remember when we did our Not a Trump Supporter episode, right? Mm-hmm. And, my dad and that whole conversation, he gets very heated, Mm-hmm. And so he said to me, constantly saying that you're not a Trump supporter is like the people who say that they have black friends. But so wait a minute. So as I kind of think about that in my head, every time you're the guy that's trying to give disclaimers and hey, look, I really actually care. It's like you are that person that's like, I'm not racist. I have black friends. Over and over, okay? And obviously when people say that, it's like, check yourself a little bit, so
yeah,
maybe
no
just stop. Maybe just stop actually doing that, and
really, if you get down to the nitty gritty of what I'm talking about, is the reality of it. And if you talk, I can guarantee. Obviously, a bunch of therapists and psychiatrists and whatever. They would tell you that the reality of my conversation, my communication about this, is I am actually trying to empower people. Actually, I'm trying to say, take your power back.
You are interesting enough, not to cut you off because I know that you hate that.
So hold on. You're going to answer the question, or you're going to go on some other rampage?
No, this is connected.
Okay.
Because I hear what you're saying. So Lori, who's actually a colleague of mine and a really good friend of mine, and actually one of my mentors who I love unconditionally. And
she is a therapist.
Yeah, she's a therapist. She's one of the most amazing clinicians. She's also very spiritual. But anyway, and she's also very, very like honest. And I love that about her. And when she first met you, I remember I was talking to her about you afterwards. I remember her being like, I love him. He's so great. He's the sweetest, most caring thing in the world. Got a lot of anxiety and obsessive compulsive and a very interesting brain, but the sweetest, most caring. That's what she said. And I'm like, I agree. I totally agree. Absolutely. So with that, I mean, I'm connecting that in terms of just like, yeah, like you're like people have. I think that people hear what they want to hear.
But I'm talking about, do you agree that if you took out the emotion of whatever tragic thing that we're talking about, you know, and do you see how what I'm trying to relay to people is take your power back?
No, I understand that, but I feel like you need to stop using like saying the disclaimer of like I care about people. I care. It's like just fucking say what you got to say. And guess what? If people think that you're a narcissist or think that you're an asshole or whatever, then that's what they think. And then we don't have to be cool.
I agree. I just think, you know, my goal is to be able to like. I mean, this is part of it. We're doing this podcast, right? So I want to be able to communicate with as many people as possible, like, and I'm not talking about like getting on different platforms and whatever, YouTube or whatever. I'm talking about I want when people hear me that a large population of people can understand what I'm trying to relay to them.
But I also think that many people can understand you, Joe.
I hope so. Maybe I just have a bunch of friends around that are just
I mean, there's everyone who I know and you know understands you. I mean, like there's not, you know, like I mean, like I haven't had. Now, I will say sometimes you have maybe like a difficult time, I think, communicating things in the best way. And so it can come off a certain way.
Because I try to like cut through all the bullshit. Everybody wants to be all this emotional and go through the fucking feelings and shit just to get to the other side. And I'm like, you know, you could just go to the other side there.
Yeah, but the feelings are important.
Yes, they are. And I'm not trying to avoid them, but I'm trying
But that's what it sounds like.
Well, I'm trying to get to the point, right? And
but in order to
everybody
get to the
can have emotions.
In order to get to the point, I have to allow myself to go through the feelings.
You can't see the point and then come back and like think about how you feel about that.
What's the difference?
Time. I don't have fucking time to go through this whole rigmarole. And oh yes, I am. I am concerned about that young man in fucking I don't know, whatever fucking country you want to talk about that you know, died unfairly. Like I get that, but like my whole point is, why don't you just fast forward through all of it, forget about it. How is your nephew? How is your son? How is your wife? How are you doing mentally? Are you okay? Have you thought about yourself often, and are you taking care of yourself mentally so you can take care of the people around you?
So again, I hear what you're saying.
See, I just sounded like an asshole though to most people, right?
Because it can be if you're actually in a conversation and you were to do that and that happens and somebody was really just trying to communicate how they felt about something like that happened or whatever, and that's where you went to instead, that can come off as very dismissive.
Right.
And I've actually told you that about yourself before. So, you know, and that's not like, people don't feel good when they're dismissed. It's a really shitty feeling.
Once again, another emotion. Like if I'm feeling, if somebody's dismissing me, I just say, well, I guess they didn't want to fucking talk about it. And I don't take it personal. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I move on to the next fucking thing. I'm clearly a different person than most, I guess, right?
It's not that you're a different person than most. You're not like this, like, it's not like people in the world aren't like you, but like, it's just that your brain works differently.
Yeah.
Everybody has different brains, and everyone's brains process different. So you can't expect everyone to just be on the same page as you are. It's just not realistic. Some people process very differently. I need to maybe sometimes take a few steps and go this way versus go this way, Like, so whereas you just go here. But I will say, though, I've told this to you before, you do miss the emotion piece a few times. And when you miss it, it doesn't come off very well. And not even just to your friends. Like, we've had discussions and conflict arguments about this before.
Yeah, and it's not that I'm missing it. I just I always touch on it and I say I'm aware of this, and then I'm like, okay, and you're with me. All right, we're talking about this. You get it. I'm aware of this. You're aware of this. All right, now let's skip forward because all of this is irrelevant, really. and it's just I don't know. Maybe it's.
But it's irrelevant to you. You can't assume that just because something's relevant to you, it's irrelevant to somebody else.
The reality is a kid dying in Yemen.
That's your reality.
Hold on, no. Say we're living in Florida, and I'm talking to the neighbor in Florida that has they're fucking, I don't know, they're Chinese, right? No relation to anybody. I don't know why I keep bringing up Yemen, but Yemen, right? No relation whatsoever. The news injected this thing into your brain because guess what? A kid died in Canada right now. A kid died in Russia right now. Right now. But the news didn't tell you about it, so you don't give a shit. Right? So what happens in those? Should you sit around and start searching and looking for all the kids that are dying around the world every day, which is literally like thousands, hundreds of thousands even? Should you just be doing that all the fucking time? Or you just wait around for the news to tell you something? It just injects it into you. You didn't even ask for it. It just injects it into you. And then all of a sudden now I have to care about it too. And it's not that I don't, once again. Like, I care about all people on earth. I don't want anybody to die, right? But the reality is we all move on. We're all living our own little lives. Like, this is why... they say that tribes and stuff are best within I think it's 100 people. I think 1,000 is max or some shit. Because once you get beyond that, you can't care about that many people. You can't, we're in this world order or whatever where we're all being forced to give a shit about somebody on the other side of the earth. And it's, once again, not that I don't. And everybody, if you're truthful to yourself and actually talk to yourself, you don't give a shit either because it doesn't affect your life. I mean, you can pretend, you can act. You're saying oh, I don't know that person. Fine. Yeah. To me, the reality is if I don't know the Chinese guy that lives next door, he doesn't give a shit about the kid in Yemen either. And it's not affecting his life unless the TV tells him it should affect his life. That was a rampage.
But
that was a narcissistic rampage.
Regardless of that may or may not being the case, if someone comes to me, even just in my personal life, not even has to do with work, and they are talking to me about something that they saw or read that really affects them and this is how they feel, I'm not going to dismiss their feelings and act like what they're saying is irrelevant because it's not irrelevant to them.
Right. And that's usually my first question is I'm trying to ask them, all right, so I want to know first off that they're telling me this kid died somewhere, right? All right. Did you know that kid? Do you have family there? Have you been there? What is your thoughts about it?
Okay, so here we go. Someone comes to you, right, and they're opening up and they're crying and they're a little emotional because and that's what you're going to lead with? You're going to ask them all those fucking questions? Oh, that's so No,
but this is what I'm talking about. I'm trying to get them. So if somebody was crying, came up to me and was talking about some kid in Yemen, they have no relation whatsoever, I'm trying to give them their power back. Why are they crying? Because something the TV injected a
Joe,
thought into their mind?
I don't think that you're not trying to give. I think that you think and believe that that's what you're doing because you want to give them their power back. It's the way that you may do it that may not come off as that. Which is why I'm a clinician and you're not.
Right.
Okay. Like,
right. But babe, see, like that's like, all right, maybe I just don't have time for all that. Like you get, this is your job. You get paid to sit with somebody because it's with some people. Yes, it's a process. I get it. Like, where would that even go? That would go back to like, how their parents raised them, very
but in my
sensitive.
Personal life, but in my personal life, when I have these conversations with people, I'm not doing all of that. In my personal life, if someone comes to me and they
your
really
personal life, if somebody came up to you right now crying about some kid that died and they had no relationship, well, how would you? What would you do?
I would sit there and I would be quiet and I would listen to them and I would just hear them, and that was it. And I would just be there for support.
Yeah.
And then I would say, man, I mean, it seems like this really affects you. I'm sorry that you feel this way and that this hurts you so much. Like, I mean, that's really, I wouldn't fucking ask them questions. I wouldn't, because it's not, unless they're asking me to give, but I would just really play a supportive role. Okay. And I would allow them to have their feeling. In terms of why they're so attached to it, guess what? To be honest, on a personal level, in terms of me not at work, that's not my job. My job is not to fucking figure that out in that moment. My job is to be a support system for you and to listen to you and to hear you and to acknowledge your feelings, because that's what I do as a friend and as a person in general, right? But my job is not to figure your shit out.
Right. And I think I get it. And you're talking about on an individual basis, this is how it is.
In my personal life.
Right. Now, when everybody's like currently, right? Or at least in 2020, now everybody thinks everything's fine because we have a new president, so everything's great. But before, people were in a tizzy, right? They were like, "What's going on?" There's a lot of things happening with government and all these things. It just felt like nothing was aligned, and we were all going down the fucking shithole. Would you agree with this? No, you're out of it. You're out of this conversation. She's over it. She's like looking at her like fucking text messages.
I just got a work email. I'm sorry. As a former patient of mine, I'm reading it. I'm sorry. That could be a serious situation. I have to tend to it. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. This is the story of Joe's life. I have to get better at this. I have to. I'm so good at work. It's like I'm like an amazing listener. I kill it. My memory is insane. I can remember anything anybody said to me fucking 10 years ago with no notes. But my poor husband, I am so sorry.
I don't know. Whatever.
But we do have to wrap up because...
Why? She's not even awake yet. You just don't want to talk about this anymore. Just like nobody does.
I actually
Hold on. Let me. All right. Let's just finish this off.
Okay,
right?
but I will say that I do have to pee and I have to make dinner because I'm a mother, Joe.
Who normally makes dinner when they're not sick?
You do, but you do everything last minute, and it's 5:07, and she eats at like 5:36.
Anyways, all right, let me just finish this thought. I know everybody probably already like clicked off because they're sick of it.
Why do you have to stop doing this woe is me thing and thinking that everybody all the time thinks that what you're saying
my own wife is not listening to me. And so why the fuck would anybody else that's listening to this? Oh my God,
I'm creating this like awful belief system. Holy shit. This is awful. Oh my gosh. All right, go ahead. Wow. Oh man. Shit.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
Over the past year, would you feel as though there are a lot of people in America that are concerned with the way things are going and like whether it's government or with
Yes.
health, whatever, right?
Mhm.
Yes, it's been very stressful
Yes.
on everybody, right? And nobody really knows the answers, right?
Mhm.
And I constantly tell people it's a cultural change that is going to take a long time.
Mhm.
And that's where you come in. That's where you go through all the emotions and communicating with people, blah, 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 blah. Where I'm trying to see the bigger picture, and I'm like, okay, is it a cultural change? Would you agree that it's a cultural change that needs to be done in America to make an actual change? Because we can't rely. Government are just people that we vote in, and if the culture has a certain mental state at that mind where they believe that, oh well, if I vote this guy in, he's going to do X, Y, and Z for me. If you have that mentality, then you're already fucked up. You already fucked your life. It's already fucked. Right? You get this guy and he's going to get in there and he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants. But if you change the mentality of why you're voting people in and the people that you're voting in, you want to vote in people that fucking like actually care about you and didn't get like a freaking $2 million from some bank or some other corporation that they need to repay them back once they get into the Senate. Like, so I went a little above and beyond there, but when I am talking to somebody and trying to empower them and get back into within their own life of shit that they actually care about, the kid in fucking Yemen has nothing to do with it. And it's only derailing you and distracting you from making your community and country better. Does that make sense? Now, I am sitting here and I'm saying everybody can be concerned about that kid in Yemen, this fictional kid in Yemen. Although a kid in Yemen probably did just die right now. So if you're one of those people, you should look it up online and be concerned about it. But otherwise, it doesn't, like, that country has their own problems that they're dealing with. We're not at that level yet, but if we keep the focus outside of this country and our community and our families, then we will be like that. So, moral of the story is, I think you should be aware of what the news and the TV and the media and radio are just injecting constantly into your life 24/7 without you don't even know it. It's just being injected in your brain. Maybe shut it off for a little bit and fucking talk to your wife for an hour on a podcast. And maybe she'll listen to you.
How did this start?
Because I go off on these rampages and I feel like this is
end up now back in this fucking theory shit about the fucking news and everything? How did we get here?
You didn't understand that whole connection?
I mean, I was talking about the serial killer and about how the news doesn't talk about serial killers, and I'm assuming that's how we started.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I explained why,
and then
they tell you about.
Went all the way to a kid in Yemen, and this is where we're at.
Right. And what my whole point is.
No, I got your point.
My whole point is it doesn't matter what.
I got your point.
Serial killer, kid in Yemen, fucking anything, unless they're talking about your fucking neighborhood or your city or even your state. Doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter. And you shouldn't be crying about it. And if you are, I have a therapist sitting right next to me that you can call up and go to.
I don't think it's that you shouldn't be crying about it.
You shouldn't. You think you should be.
I don't think
you don't think that's a waste of time within your life.
I'm not saying that. I just don't like using the word shouldn't.
Because you are a therapist and you have to be sensitive to everybody's
That word is not. It's a very dismissive word. I don't like that word.
Well, I hope that by the end of this, people understand me a little bit better. I care about all of you. I care about everybody. I do care about the kid in Yemen that, once again, another kid just died in Yemen probably right now. Sorry about that. And I don't want him to die. And I want to make this world a better place. But you have to start with yourself, then your family, then your community, then your state. And that's huge. Right there is humongous. That's a lifetime right there. And everybody's like fucking trying to save the world overnight. You don't have that power. You take your power back and don't listen to the fucking media and take a walk in the neighborhood and talk to your fucking wife. That's a good moral. You done?
I have to pee so bad.
Okay, we gotta go. We're supposed to call Raph.
I can't.
Oh my god.
I have to pee. But I had a blast. This was fun as usual.
I think I'm like more stressed out now.
I'm sure that created lots of stress on your stomach. So good luck with that. I love you guys. I love everyone out there sending again positivity and love. And have a good weekend.
I am also sending love and positivity and good energy to everybody, and I hope you believe me.
Oh God.
Because I really am. Because everybody who is listening to this is part of my extended family, and even if you're not listening to it, maybe eventually you will, and you'll hear my point. I do care about everyone in the world. See how I have to reiterate?
I don't know why you have to. This is ridiculous.
No, because even
we're
to
saying
you,
bye. Everyone's got the point.
You still disagree.
I'm not saying that I disagree.
Methods.
I'm not saying that I disagree with your methods. What I said specifically was that the way that you communicate certain things can come off in a certain way, and I can understand how somebody could take it in a certain way.
Somebody like what type of person?
I don't know what type of person.
A person that is not empowered within their own lives, insecure.
Anyone could.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyone could.
Right. Sorry. Okay. Well, okay. Well, I'll just be the asshole of this.
Joe is super stressed out right now. By the way, I think
it's because you know why?
Face.
Because I feel as though
stressed yourself out so bad.
No, you know why? Because I feel as though I need a whole other hour to decompress all of this and make sure everybody's aware that I fucking
out there
care.
Listening,
because I do care about everybody.
What Joe's saying and
I honestly don't want anybody to like walk away from this and feel like I'm a bad person or feel bad about themselves.
People, listen, it's okay.
Okay.
All right. This was a very serious one for you, huh? My goodness gracious. Okay.
Well, because then now you're rushing me because you have to pee.
That's okay.
So I have to make sure that I get it all out.
Okay. I know. I love you.
Okay. I love you guys. For real, I swear.
Okay, baby, they love you too.
Okay. I love all kids in Yemen.
Okay, bye. Bye, everyone.
Hey, I just listened to this podcast. It was pretty cool. The only thing I didn't like was you guys didn't call me. Love you guys too.